What we're training for is the modern enemy, and the modern enemy's evolved. So there's 3 things that you should expect when you deal with anyone now. Anyone, don't care where you are. Expect 3 things. If these 3 things aren't present, you've got a bonus. First thing, they've got a weapon. They've got a force multiplier, and there's chances are you're unarmed. That's a disparity in threat. They kill you accidentally. Second, expect they've got a friend, or friends, plural, who are also most likely to be armed. Big threat disparity. Third, expect them to have had training. Everyone's training, and their sister. If they haven't had training per se, they've had the best training of all already. Previous experience, they've done it before, right? So the worst case scenario is multiple armed assailants who are all pretty experienced and even training. Can you imagine the disparity in that threat? Right, so that's what you're training for, right? That's why you need to understand your skills can be taken up to and including deadly force. You need to know how to get them to deadly force. You need to know how to get them just to render somebody unconscious, and you need to know how to monitor them just to control somebody, if that's all that's required. Does that make sense? So using the environment is one principle that we'll implement for that. Next is 2 pads. The wall. And I'm bringing this in because I'll tie it all together, right? Now, working off the idea that the subject was in front of me, right? Yeah. I'll give you the context of the drill when we do the drill, but I've ended up where we just were. Yes? Now, I'm going to go knee, 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 but instead of a floor, there's a wall behind me. So I'm going to rag his forward motion, boom, into the wall. So what I'm doing is bam, that, which exposes the back of his head, which is the best target of all, right? So without you moving, after I've kneed and ragged him to the wall, look at where my target is. This is why it's important that you learn how to use both sides of your body. Because here I've used your dominant right hand to rag you into the wall, which only leaves your left hand free. Rather than have to change, it would be useful if you could use this, right? So here I'm going palm strike, back of the head, or I'm going elbows, elbows, back of the head. All right? Now in order to replicate that, knee, wall, elbow, his feed is crucial. So he's going to go here for the knee, and then when I rag him into the wall, rather than eat the wall, he's going to go boom to stop himself. And this is where his target would be, back of my head. But because I want to hit it with substance, he's going to rotate on his shoulder and then give me a pad target, which still represents the back of his head. Are we clear? So slowly, I'm going from here. Side clinch, knee, 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 wall. He turns, boom, elbow, boom, elbow, boom, elbow. That's what I'm doing. So I'm going right knee, left elbow. If you're a lefty, you're going to go left knee, right elbow. No both. Does that make sense? So I could go from here, boom, wall, boom, he turns, bam, bam, boom, and then he goes, boom, and he gives me that. Gives me a low target, bam, which I kick. Which maybe replicates his thinking about getting back up. Do you mean? Make sense?
Yeah. What I can do, is the last thing I'll say, is that I can make him like leapfrog through that dynamic, okay? So we can take the beat down away, but I can look to get back up. So maybe when he throws me into the wall, I go, oh, fuck, and then I'm like, if I go like this, then he doesn't need to continue. If I'm like, you fucking cunt, boom. Do you see how I've now leapfrogged the beat down?
Or he could randomise the energy. So I'm thinking in my head, elbow, knee, wall, continue, beat him down, finish. I'm thinking that. That's 10. Because you want to start every situation with 10 in your head, right? But maybe I knee, wall, and he drops. So that's stopped the rest of my response. Maybe I need 1 shot, but not 3. Maybe I hit him with 1, he's straight down, and there's no kick. Maybe I need all of it. Do you understand? He'll dictate as the feeder what level of violence volume dial I employ. I'll start with the intention of 10, always 10, 10, 10, but maybe after 5, I hit him one shot, don't need any more, you know? And you want to recognize that inside of the fight dynamic. What's most crucial is, as soon as I hit you, I want to recognize the energy that tells me I need to continue. Well, that's you on your feet still or you struggling. Or conversely, I want to recognize the energy, the split second that you are no longer a problem and you are down. Now I want to hit the big red stop button in my brain and cease my use of force. In the same vein, I want to be able to control my emotional state inside of the fight dynamic if a secondary threat comes. So if a secondary threat comes running towards me with a bat, that's clean cut. I know I've got to fight. My response must continue. But what if it's a scared witness with a camera phone? Well, what are you doing? That's assault. I need to be able to communicate with that person calmly to tell them I wasn't the agitator, this person was. Call the police, I'm going to phone him an ambulance. It wasn't my fault. Be calm, it's cool. I'm going to be able to recognise that and do that. Maybe the person I put on the floor was a relative or a friend of this person. Oh my God, what have you done? I can't blitzkrieg them, can I? Maybe it's an off-duty cop coming into the affray because he's just turned up, or maybe it's a cop just turning up. I want to be able to switch back to a calm emotional state so I don't incriminate myself. Do you make sense? So you're talking about the emotional software part of a clinical operator. So if you haven't seen the series of or Reacher, do you ever see Reacher? The first season was the best. The clinical fight in the prison cell was UC. But the point that you want to model from Reacher is not 6'5", built like a shit-ass wall, is the mentality. The emotional state that he displayed before the fight was calm, confident, collected, and observant. The emotional state he accessed for the fight part was 5 seconds of rage with reason. An attack-trained war dog. As soon as the job was done, he switched back to cold, clinical, calm expression. On, off, on. That's what you want. Where that thinking comes from is cyborg mentality. So a left brain linear data collection focused on only on what must be done, and not reacting by right brain emotion of what's emotionally triggered. Does that make sense? So what I'm giving you are the 2 components of this is how you build the Reacher within you. Yes? That's what this is about. The emotional software and the physical hardware. So we just looked at the physical hardware in terms of tools. You could use other tools. These are the tools I'm giving you. Now I want to give you some information about what we're doing in a clinical sense, so a little bit of theory now. And then we're going to finish with putting the 2 together fused. Does that make sense? Am I reacting to him or is he reacting to me? Right, so straight from the off, I'm going to take charge of this situation. So if you walk towards me, rather than stop, I'm going to walk past him and make him reorientate to me. Now he is reacting to what I'm doing. Does that make sense? I'm already taking charge in a situational sense. And the reason I'm contact managing in that way is because I said to you, have an expectation that there be a weapon and more than one subject. So by moving past him and turning around, if there was a previous secondary threat with him that was behind me, they are now behind him. And I am momentarily have 2 in a stacked line. Does that make sense? But the purpose of this workshop is not multiple assailants, although that will be a habitual practice, contact management. The purpose is, how do I get through this cunt in 5 seconds and what will that feel like while I do it on a mental level? That's the purpose of this. But nonetheless, we would contact manage habitually. The other thing that would be a given is my assault on him would not stop until he was down and no longer moving. And as soon as he is down, I'm going to escape to a place of safety, right? So the last thing that I see in my subconscious brain, because I'm building my blueprint here, is that the what I did put him down. Does that make sense? So the 2 ingredients that we're going to add are contact management and tactical disengagement with the subject already down and done. Make sense? Right, just going to throw together just a normal Blitzkrieg drill, right? So I'm just going to go palm attach, hammer, elbow, knee, snatch, stomp. Okay, I'm just going to put it together, right? Whatever, don't care. Fine. Yeah. So he walks towards me. Pardon?
No dialogue, just...
No, just do the drill. So he walks towards me, right? Understand the context of this. So there would be dialogue, wouldn't there? Right? So maybe he walks up to me, "Oi mate," and then I walk past and turns around, "Oi mate, where the fuck you going?" Da, 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 da. And then he starts chatting. And I'm like, "Mate, I'm not interested, just leave me alone, I want to go." And then he does something that forces me to preempt. I can't just preempt him, right? So there's something he's done might be to shift his weight. If he shifts his weight in this way, what's he going to do? Possibly hit me, yes? What if he shifts his weight as he reaches behind his back? Possibly grab a weapon. What if we're in an environment and there's a table of bottles and drinks and glasses there and he looks at that bottle and moves towards it? What does that tell you? Yeah? He's going to hit me with it, right? What about he looks at the fire extinguisher on the wall and then makes a gesture towards that? He's going to put it around your head. Any of that is a pre-threat cue criteria that tells you you need to do something before he does that. There must be a criteria. Does that make sense? What we're going to omit here for the purpose of fluidity to finish the class is we're not adding dialogue. We're not adding role play. We're not adding kit. We're just doing the physical dynamic, but I'm plugging in the early seeds for the emotional part. Make sense? All right. So he walks towards me, I contact manage in this way, there's some interaction, possibly he does something that creates me to do that. So here he's slapping my fence down, you see? Which is again a clear indicator. From here now he's going to start attach, hammer, boof, elbow, clinch knee, boof, racking down, and stop. And then I'm going to move. Okay? There may be a need for you to branch inside as to what side you connect in order to knee, but get the point. I'm hitting you, grabbing you, hitting you until you've covered the high line. Now I'm branching low, putting you to the floor and making sure you don't get up. Okay, one more. We do this nice and quick. The purpose is not the sequence of skills I'm giving you, because I'm going to give you a number of them. The purpose is you work out for yourself, what do you like best to do? The purpose is that you understand me, more of me, fuck you, finished. Did you like that? That's the attitude. That's what I want you to get from it, right? So good?
Full level 10 again, yeah.
Yeah. Just go for the whole thing. Yeah. Now understand the way we train this is why he says this. We start with level 10. Start where you intend to end up. The way to take this and practice this is so that you get the control switch, is that he will start to randomize his response. So give me a couple random inside. We'll do one more 10. Yeah. She walks towards, I contact manage, I move. He's done something that requires me to boom, hit, bam, 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 and I move. Right? Required all of it. Yeah. Conversely, there was no need, he wasn't there for me to reach. There's no need to follow up. Maybe one more. Now I'm gone. Do you see? So the elbow now is hitting air because he wasn't there. But what I'm with the energetic that he's given me is, oh, I need to keep going. Oh, that's it, it's done. That's emotional control inside of the fight dynamic. Does that make sense? Yes or no?
Yes.
Right?